Shalom. Call halal YAHAWASHI, BaHaSHam QADASH. Double honors to the apostles, double honors unto the elder bishops. Salutations to all my fellow laborers doing this work in truth and sincerity, risking their lives and their freedom to do so now more so than ever. To the scattered elect that are scattered among the heathen nations that look like the heathen nations. And to the Akwath that are listening and learning, to you, I say Shalom. This is your brother MALCHAAMAH from the branch of the Great Millstone. And I regret that I didn't act quickly on the video that I had in my phone. They since removed it off TikTok. And basically it was a video about, it was a young sister of the Northern Kingdom, of the Southern Kingdom, Salakia, pretty brown young sister, who brought out the evidence of this research that was done with cherry blossoms and rats. And that these, what they did was, in this experiment, they would show these rats, introduce these rats to these cherry blossoms. And every time they came around the cherry blossoms, they would shock the rats. All right. So then once they took the shock treatment away, the rats would still freak out and visually panic every time that they saw the cherry blossoms. So it had this true effect on them. And then you have these people who will talk about, well, you weren't a slave and you weren't around, and and nobody in your family was a slave, but this experiment showed that this affected the children of the rats in the experiment, and then the children of those rats, and then the children of those rats. It affected them up to 6 generations later. All right, that's the science which so-called white people, the Edomites, so strongly believe in. But now when it comes to us, all of a sudden that science doesn't work. I've come to find, especially with all the medical things that have gone on recently, that science is only important, and science is only as valuable when it works to benefit the narrative that they're pushing. Something that I've come to understand. But this is 1 Timothy 6 and 20. And it reads, O Timothy, keep that which is committed to thy trust, avoiding profane babblings and oppositions of science falsely so called. So we were forewarned. All right, Romans, let me grab that. Romans 15 and 4. We were so warned, that there would come a day when the earth has been given into the hands of the wicked. All right, Job 9 and 24, that there will come a day and time in prophecy when science will be used as a weapon, and not real science, but science falsely so-called, pseudoscience. And that's done a lot these days, a whole lot. Billions of dollars are made off pseudoscience. But this is Romans 15 and 4. Whatsoever things were written aforetime were written for our learning, that we through patience and comfort of Scripture might have hope. All right. And our suffering was real. This is Lamentation 4 and 6. And it reads, for the punishment of the iniquity of the daughter of my people is greater than the punishment of the sin of Sodom, that was overthrown as a moment and no one stayed on her. So Sodom was completely annihilated, but our punishment, but guess what? That punishment came and was done. Our punishment has been going on for centuries, for millenniums. All right? The Lord is long suffering, but vengeance is going to be his. As a matter of fact, let me play a couple quick inserts, some videos that are still up before they delete those. And we'll play this this poem that this young brother did. I don't know who the author is, but nevertheless, let's let it play.
We pledge allegiance
It's called Changes Starts With You. All right? So this is a young Jake with a backpack on stage in front of a microphone. Probably was an open mic or school or something, but here we go.
To your flag of the United States of America.
All right, let's just start that again. Here we go. Hold on. There we go.
We pledge allegiance to your flag of the United States of America and to your republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for who? For you? For some? Not for us. Not for our people, so please stop saying we equal with your flag of red, white, and blue. In one hand, you beat us, until we're black and blue with the other beat us, until we're none beat us, until we can't walk straight, then you put us in chains if we lucky. But for the ones of us who are so lucky, you tell us to put our hands up as some type of sick tribute to your privilege, and then you pull the trigger into our bodies laid down on your ground, pull the trigger until your clip is empty, pull the trigger until we make your evening news, and then when our children cry, we have to look our children in the eyes and tell them that they have to be cautious, that when they walk your streets, they have to do so in fear, that they have to spend an entirety of their life looking over their shoulder, because you will hunt them down, and you will bury them, either in a prison system that aims to disenfranchise them or the dirt beneath their feet. And this is all because of that same racism that you love to say no longer exists. But we all know that same racism is the reason that when we want to put a hood on, we resist. The reason that when we go to get these jobs, we're dismissed at the door. The reason that when we go to shop, we're watched in your stores. That racism is the reason that us saying your...
That just happened to me in a 7-Eleven that I've been going to for over 5 years. I happened to walk in with a hood on, with my hoodie on, because it was cold out. Going to back to make my tea. All right, while I look up and the guy behind the cash register is standing there across from me when you got people in line up at front. There was nothing in that store that I couldn't have bought 5 times over. But I do plan to confront him next time I see him. Then when he looked and saw it was me, when he looked in my face, he kind of like tried to skirt away like he wasn't doing what he was doing. But I'm going to let him know about it next time I see him. All right? Just so I can tell him I will no longer be patron this store. There's another 7-Eleven about a half a mile down the road. And it's got some attractive Ephraimite sisters in it. I'd rather go there anyway. So, but nevertheless, that's something that we still face. This is Lamentations, 4th chapter. Let's jump up to verse 17, and it reads, "As for us, our eyes are yet failed for our vain help. In our watching, we have watched for a nation that could not save us. They hunt our steps." Did the young man not say they hunt us? All right. "That we cannot go in our streets. Our end is near, our days are fulfilled, for our end is come. Our persecutors are swifter than eagles of the heavens. They pursue upon us as upon the mountains. They laid wait for us in the wilderness." And so they set traps, man. And they send our people off to jail unrighteously. There's an economy made out of railroading our people into the prison system. This is Isaiah 42 and 22. And this is a prophecy, because we're always talking about prophecy. This is a prophecy that will befall the Israelites, that they will be hidden away in prison houses. They'll be locked away in prison houses. All right. There's no Finkelstein Stearns, Stones, and Steins and Epsteins filling up the prisons. It's just not. As a matter of fact, they're the ones that own a lot of the prisons, the privately owned prisons, that have stock in them. All right? They get paid every time one of you go to jail. This is Isaiah 42 and 22. "But this is a people robbed and spoiled. They are all of them snared in holes. They are hid in prison houses. They are for a prey, and none delivereth. for a spoil, and none saith restore. You got so many people that went to jail simply because they had a public defender, all right, that actually is a friend of the courts and everybody in the courtroom anyway. All right, because Jake can afford to, in most cases, the expensive fees that it takes for to have a lawyer to speak well-spoke legalese in your defense, to get you a lighter sentence or no sentence at all. Jake can't afford that type of representation in most cases. And a lot of them just get railroaded to jail. Why? Because of unrighteous decrees and treachery, which brings to mind, stand in Isaiah. Let's go to verse 33. 33:1. And it reads, woe to the people that spoilest, and thou wast not spoiled, that dealest treacherously, and they dealt not treacherously with thee. Then when thou shalt cease to spoil, thou shalt be spoiled. And when thou shalt make an end to deal treacherously, they shall deal treacherously with thee. And this prophecy is a prophecy that they fear. They extra fear this prophecy. Because in the end, this is what is going to happen. Revelation 13:10, Isaiah 14:2 has to happen. All right, because right now we're in Ezekiel 37 and 38. The awakening of the Israelites has happened. And the elites are very well aware of that. And now the hooks have been put in the nose of Gog and Magog. For those of you who may be new or may not know, that is referring to the people that live in the land of Russia, who are Edomites as well. They just happen to be occupying the land mass that was referred to or given to Gog and Magog, because they got pushed out of there by Esau. The earth was given into the hands of the wicked. All right, so all the names of those places over there, well, they were named those names by Edomites, not by the family or the people, the stock of Gog and Magog. Let us let me go back and play another video that was on
A lot like
in the same channel. This was sent to me by one of my subscribers, beloved brother Jason Morales. Shalom, brother. That brother sends me a lot of good stuff on TikTok, and I'll use some of this information for edification to the body. But here we go. This is
one of the darkest things I've ever read in history, and it's about Columbus meeting the natives. In his letters, he writes, they are very simple and honest and exceedingly liberal with all they have, none of them refusing anything he may possess when he is asked for it. They exhibit great love towards all others in preference to themselves. He says, they are the best people in the world and above all the gentlest, without knowledge of what is evil, nor do they murder or steal. They love their neighbors as themselves, and they have the sweetest talk in the world, always laughing. After saying all that, he then writes, they would make fine servants. With 50 men, we could subjugate them all and make them do whatever we want. Is that not the most brutal thing you've ever heard?
And that's the true nature of Esau, Edom. And that is exactly what they did. He said they didn't lie and they didn't steal. All right? Why? Because they were Israelites. All right, but what did he turn around and do to them? If Christopher Columbus came over here with 5 Hebrew interpreters, he didn't bring Hebrew interpreters to find India. That is a lie. That's why they conveniently refer to use the lie of referring to them as Indian, trying to cover that lie. Christopher Columbus came over here looking for the lost sheep of the house of Israel because he believed in the prophecies. Where he followed the prophecy said that they would come here to Asareth, and the Bible identifies Asareth as America. That's in the Jewish encyclopedia. It identified the landmass of America as Asareth, the land which never no mankind had dwelt in. That's where the northern kingdom went to. All right, people had been to the Americas, but no one had ever dwelt here. All right, and what did they do to them when they came here? They destroyed them many times over. All right. Let's read that Isaiah 33 and 1 again. Let's read that again. This is Isaiah 33 and 1, and it reads, Woe to thee that spoilest, and thou wast not spoiled, and dealest treacherously, and they dealt not treacherously with thee. When thou shalt cease to spoil, thou shalt be spoiled. And when thou shalt make an end to deal treacherously, thou shalt deal treacherously with thee. That's why you have all these different programs where they're trying to give Jake shelter or food, mostly to women, not to the men. All right? Because that's how you divide and keep us divided, by giving gifts to the women, because a gift destroys the heart, meaning the mind. And they see, you know, the red man who refers to himself as white. As you can see, the lady on the page, her skin is not white. The background is white. She don't blend in with that. She's red. You know, her blood shows forth through her skin. That is Esau, Edom. All right. Wasted away is he, which is what it means. He looks like one that is dead with no color in him. The baby was born. All right. But nevertheless, they fear what comes next in prophecy. All right, which I'm probably going to continue and actually use the video that's on the screen, and we'll talk about in the next one. So call halal, YAHAWASHI, BaHaSHAM, BaHaSHAM, QADASH, YAHAWAH, BaHaSHAM, Shalom.